It used to be that conquerors came into a country from another country. They had armies. They wore uniforms. They came in with swords and then bayonets and rifles and then bombs, all kinds of weapons. But that's not the real war.
One atomic bomb did this.
That passed long ago. It used to anger me. I thought, what's wrong with these people? Don't they know that the world is on fire? But then I began to think about all of the reasons that many people would have for not wanting to know this. It's not that they're ignorant or stupid. It's just that there's that psychological block to wanting to know bad news. Because if you really accept that, then you have a terrible responsibility to do something about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's really a pleasure to be able to welcome so many of you into my home. Not only those of you who actually are here, but also those of you who are here indirectly through the medium of motion picture film. Now, as you know, the title of this presentation is The Grand Design. But I should explain at the outset that the real subject behind this title is U.S. foreign policy. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the men who have formulated this grand design consider themselves to be part of the intellectual elite. They're just a little smarter than the rest of us. They feel that the average American doesn't quite have the intelligence or the aptitude to understand the wisdom of their grand design.
I regard G.Edward Griffin as one of the unsung heroes of the 20th century.
The objective of the grand design, the creation of a true world government with sufficient military force to compel all nations, including our own, to obey.
He saw things that others didn't see so far ahead of the rest.
To them, partisan politics is only a game to amuse the masses who crave the showmanship of big national conventions, the excitement of partisan campaigns, and the satisfaction of casting a vote in the illusion that somehow they're really helping to decide the important issues of the day. But with precious few exceptions.
He's a visionary who preserved truth so that it could be passed on to the next generation.
It's not a very pretty picture, but it's one we need to understand so that no matter what happens to us or to our families, God willing, we'll have the strength at least to avoid doing anything that would play further into the hands of the communists.
G.Edward Griffin reminds me of British statesman EDMUND BURKE, who famously wrote Reflections on the Revolution in France. At the time Burke published it in January of 1790, none of the excesses of the French Revolution had come to pass. Long before the Reign of Terror, long before the King and Queen were guillotined, he said, the spirit of these guys is one of ideological fanaticism. Do you just watch these guys? Before this is all said and done, what we're going to see in France is total destruction. A destruction of the rule of law, mass murder. He predicts the whole thing.
It's literally a question of life and death for all of us. And it's about time the American people began to face up to that fact and to act accordingly.
G.Edward Griffin, he shared that perception.
And because of this presumption of interest on your part, I've put together an in-depth presentation. The story you are about to hear represents a missing piece in the puzzle of modern history. Most of us thought that terrorism was something that existed in other countries. I have a lot of ground to cover, so we'll get right to it.
It takes nothing more than an honest journey of going back and listening to what Ed Griffin was saying at a given time for one to conclude that he was absolutely right about what he was trying to warn us against.
Communism, foreign policy, riots, campus disorders, assaults against police, drug abuse, pornography, crime, or taxes.
The Federal Reserve.
The key to their success has been to control and manipulate the money system of a nation, while letting it appear to be controlled by the government.
The Civil Rights Movement.
The mass action tactics of the Selma March, the Poor People's Campaign, and Resurrection City. What are these? Well-organized pressure groups putting on an impressive show to create the illusion of vast popular support.
Global warming.
If you want to rob the people and not go to prison for it, you go into government work and you design government projects and themes such as global warming. Because
he's been decades ahead of questioning the medical industry.
What I'm going to be talking about is the politics of cancer therapy. But before we do that, I'll be talking a little bit about the science of cancer therapy.
The interview you're about to see was conducted by me in 1982.
Getting some of the most important interviews.
The man who tells this story is none other than Mr. Norman Dodd.
What we had uncovered was the determination of these large endowed foundations through their trustees to actually get control over the content of American education.
I saw a video of G.Edward Griffin from 1969.
The communist position on the Negro question is as follows.
And he says,
as early as 1928, the communists declared that the racial differences among our people constituted the weakest and most vulnerable point in our social fabric. By constantly probing and straining at this one spot, they calculated that eventually the cloth could be torn apart and that Americans could be divided, weakened, and perhaps even set against each other in open combat. They want hatred, violence, and bloodshed between the races, and they don't care how they get it or whom they use, even children if necessary.
and that's when I put it together. Oh, that's the guy who interviewed Yuri.
Our conversation is with Mr. Yuri Alexandrovich Bezmenov. Mr. Bezmenov,
One of the best, if not the best interview of the century.
From your personal experience, what is the difference between life under communism and life in the United States?
And then I found out he was alive.
Okay, now you want to hear about Yuri, is that right?
Most of the American politicians, media, and educational system trains another generation of people who think they are living at a peacetime. False. The United States is in the state of war, undeclared total war against the basic principles and the foundations of this system.
This is the trick. How to do it?
We don't have to infiltrate agents into your governmental office. We can infiltrate ideas into your minds through your media, through entertainment industry, through your educational system. Drop by drop, put poison into your mind.
Yuri Bezmenov.
Our conversation is with Mr. Yuri Alexandrovich Bezmenov.
Are you familiar with Yuri Bezmenov?
Yuri Bezmenov. Yuri Bezmenov.
Yuri Bezmenov.
Yuri Bezmenov.
Yuri Bezmenov. You ever watch Yuri Bezmenov videos?
Mr. Bezmenov was born in 1939 in a suburb of Moscow.
Now, when we talk about Yuri Bezmenov, you're talking about a good old Rush boy.
Russia. There is no such country, my dear friend.
He had an outstanding career with Novosti,
There is no Russian government.
front for the KGB.
What's the
It belongs to a bunch of self-imposed criminals.
One of his interesting assignments was to brainwash foreign diplomats.
Useful idiots. Every day, every hour, they lie to you about my system. Why do you think your journalists for many years tried to convince you that what you are dealing with is Russia? Why? Simple is the trick. This is the result of my work. I've been working with the dim-wits of your mass media. There they are.
I think you're trying to tell us something.
Oh,
in
yes.
This country.
I'm trying to tell you that it has to be stopped unless you want to end up in Gulag system and enjoy all the advantages of socialist equality.
Some of the things he told in that interview, people know by now who have seen it. It's just mind-boggling. He was predicting the future if we didn't do anything to stop the trend.
Americans will belong unless they will wake up.
The future is now. And it's so clearly now that it's painful to listen to his words from so many years ago.
You have several years to live on unless the United States wake up. The time bomb is ticking. With every second, the disaster is coming closer and closer. Unlike myself, you will have nowhere to defect to.
Stop.